Before we start this video, I'd just like to say this video is sponsored by OneFootball, the app that lets you know about all the stats, facts, and all the good stuff you need to know about football. And if you want to go down and check it out, the link in the description down below, please do.
He brings the best out in players. I mean, even Anderson today, he's tracking back.
Yeah, his work rate was brilliant.
Work rate was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to realise that these big games, you're not just the big games, you've got to do it every game. Yeah. But he's settling in really well to English football now. But Arnautovic, I know a lot of people were saying, oh, his head's turned, but Arnie was just Arnie today. He's probably been like that, but we're noticing it more because of the rumours during the week.
I've heard a lot. I mean, there's a lot been made of this week, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But I thought he was decent today. People were saying to me, and I think it's just because people were saying to me, you know, his head's been he don't look interested and all that. I thought he was as good as ever.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Some people are noticing it more because of the rumours. They're thinking, oh, look, his head's turned, his head's not in it. I thought Arnie was Arnie, and when he got subbed off, I know he waved and all that, but Arnie being Arnie, he's probably done that sort of... Ironically, yeah. Whether he goes or not, look, I said during my video during the week that if he wants to go, then go, but do it the right way. Don't throw your toys out your pram and not train and refuse to play, but let us get in someone decent as well before we let him go.
You said with Arnie the way he went off, right? How often did we substitute him off the pitch?
Yeah, exactly.
Not very.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, he went off last week. He was
Exactly.
going to kill Pellegrini.
Exactly. So do you know what I mean? It's not often we substitute him off the pitch. So you can't sit there and say, every time he goes off, he does that. Do you know what I mean?
If it is his last game for West Ham, then that's his last game for West Ham. Look, we moved on from Payet, we move on from Arnie. Players come and go. That's
right. Should we have the discussion then? Should we have the?
Can we just
starting 11 today and the bench? That was just probably the strongest starting 11 and bench we've had for how long? And you think you're going to add Yarmolenko, Lanzini to that? You know, there's other Winston Reid,
injuries galore.
Winston Reid, Hernandez,
long-term ones as well. It's not like they're out of a few.
Some of these players, big players, won't even make match day squads soon.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's good. I remember the days when we used to
tune in the summer.
Yeah, you will. You'll see a few players maybe leave. But you never know. You might get a couple leave in January. I hope not. I hate the January transfer window.
Yeah.
Anyone leaves in January, they need to be replaced by either a like-for-like player or a player who's better.
But the thing is,
we can't afford to let a good player go and then.
Yeah, but the thing is, come January, like you're halfway through the season, teams not going to sell you their best players, are they?
Of course
because
not.
they need them for their.
Of course not. This is the thing with
Nicky's itching to talk about Arnie. Look,
the thing is that leads quite well into it, really, because that's the problem with if we do sell Arnie, is replacing Arnie.
Thing is, we can't let Arnautovic go without having a replacement.
I would make sure that
we have got no one. Sorry,
no, go on, mate. Go on,
we've got no one in this league. No one in this team that can replace the work rate he gives us, the goals he gives us, and all that. Like Andy Carroll of 5 years ago, I'd say maybe like he could come in and replace Arnie, but the work rate he gives you, like, look, I've said this before, right? We bought a bastard.
Yeah.
We can't complain for him being a bastard. He'd done exactly the same to Stoke, what he's doing to us now. He's not refusing. I think he's got a little bit of a more of a rapport with the fans. I think the fans respect him a little bit more. And I think the Payet situation, I think it's sort of made everyone with a bit tougher skin. Well, he goes.
The thing is, Arnie was an average winger at Stoke, right?
I wouldn't say he was average. He was the best player in.
No, but he's talked about more now as a striker.
Yeah, of course.
And he's a better player now as a striker. So credit to David Moyes for giving him that free role. He's turned him into a striker. We bought him for 20 million. It rises to 25. Stoke get a 20% sell-on clause for that. So. We need to, if we're going to sell Arnie, we need to get the best deal for West Ham. Not for Arnie or his brother, for West Ham. We need to turn around and say, right, Arnie's worth minimum 50 million. Probably more, but 50 million. That is what. But I would also put a clause in that contract to say that Arnie cannot return to English football for at least 3 years. He cannot. Because it's bollocks, because they go out to China for a year, he won't like it, he's going to hate it out there.
I mean, how many players have gone out there and come back within a year?
The money's good, but he's got to go out there, he's got to learn a new language, he's got to settle his family, he'll score bundles of goals, but when he looks round and he thinks the fans ain't the same as they are in England, and all that, if Arnie turned around and said, I want to go to a top 4 club in England, or a top European club, I'll understand that.
But
I'm 29. I want to win trophies.
But I think this is what's
But do it the right way.
I think this is what's sticking underneath a lot of people's opinions is the fact that 6 months ago, I sat here 6 months ago when it was a transfer window in the summer, and he was saying, yeah, he wants to go to a big club like his brother again. He wants to go to a big club. Manchester United have touted interest of him. He wants to compete in the Champions League before he retires and all that. I sat on our radio show, I think it was, and said to him, look, if he wants to test himself against the best, I can't complain.
Exactly.
If he wants to go and play Champions League football, he wants to go and play for a Man United or a Chelsea or, God forbid, a Tottenham or something like that.
Understand that.
I know he'd get a bit of stick, but if you want to go and compete, or a Man City, yeah, I understand that completely. Or, better still, if you move abroad and go and play for a Juventus or, you know what I mean?
A big
team.
European club.
A big team, yeah, and you want to go and play in the Champions League. I say, do you know what? Fair enough. But then to go from that to China,
Exactly. What's the point?
They said the other day, didn't he? When I said
Of course it is.
what he'd earn in the next 3 years at West Ham is 17 million. If he the same contract in China, he earned 32. So you can understand. But it's like I can't remember. I think it was Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank last night on Sky Sports News. He said he's only going to China to look after his grandkids.
Exactly.
That's all he's going there for.
Well,
To look after his future, because
You've got more money than
17 million is a lot of money. West Ham could come out and say, all right, we'll up his. I can understand his frustration a bit because he's probably our best player at the club, right? But he's not the highest earner.
Yeah.
He thinks he should be the highest earner. Give him the money because we're probably going to sell Hernandez in the summer. Who is our? I think it's Anderson is our top earner, but Anderson's only just come in. But this is the problem when you've got good players and because next in the summer Anderson will be linked with someone.
Yeah.
It's what
Of
happens.
course they will.
It's what happens.
Yeah. As soon as they
It's
start
how
having
we
a
deal
good
with
run
it.
of form.
We don't want another Payet situation because I remember David Sullivan sitting there at the beginning of that January window when we sold. He was going, he ain't going nowhere. Before the end of the month, he was scoring goals for Marseille. So he's going to.
I
But
think
we
it's
need
a
to have
bit of
the
a
right deal
different
for West Ham.
situation. Look, at the end of the day, right, I said this on Arsenal Fan TV as well, right? What we got now? 30 points? 31 points, right? 9 more points and we're clear of relegation, right? We ain't gaining it. We're not going to go and compete for 6th. We're not going to do that, right? We're not going to go down.
Why not though?
Why not?
I just don't think we will.
Why
I
not?
think they're too far ahead, Man United. Right?
But they're still 7th,
But,
which is Europe.
Is it Europe though?
And the thing is, there's still cups.
And you're still the FA Cup.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, this is why this don't hurt me too much. If we're fighting relegation, like we was last year, and Payet, or the year before last, whenever he left, and Payet turns around and goes, I'm not playing with you anymore. I was heartbroken because I thought to myself, he's our talisman, you know what I mean? He's the man that makes us tick, and without him, we're fucking shit. But
we're not shit without Arnautovic.
No, I know.
That's the difference.
We're in a stronger position.
Of course we're a lot better with Arnautovic.
We are a worse team without Arnautovic in the team, without a fucking shadow.
No,
of
but
doubt.
you say that, mate.
not-
When he was
not as-
injured, we won them all them games.
Exactly. And also, with
We've
Payet,
actually won more games without him in the team.
So the thing is,
Yeah.
when we had Payet, it was
we had nothing else.
everything was through Payet.
Exactly. That's
Payet
the
was
Now
a-
we've got players
Yeah.
around that can
We've got
sort of carry.
we've got good we've got class players around him. So it's not always about Arnie.
The thing for me is that when you look at it, take the money away. When you look at it at a football point of view, where do you want to be playing football? Where do you want to, when you retire, sit there and say, do you know what? We ain't going to win the Premier League. You can't sit there and say, oh yeah, I don't, you know. But
you got to
you're
remember,
playing in the top league in the world.
The most watched league
Right?
in the world.
Yeah, right. You're playing against good opposition week in, week out. You're loved by the fans, right? You're getting a good.
Don't get me
like
wrong,
Ryan
Scott.
said.
I'd rather him go to China than play for fucking Chelsea or Tottenham.
I agree with that. But the thing is, what is the point? He might as well just go and play fucking Sunday League football in a park
I know.
if he wants to win things.
He's loved
Do you know
it.
what I mean?
The thing is,
that's the difference.
This is what pisses me
Don't
off. He's
bullshit.
got a good relationship with the fans.
Yeah.
And he loves the fans. The fans love him. It was good today that the fans didn't boo him. I see a lot of people on Twitter last night saying
I think
that they
a
was
few
gonna boo him,
people
but-
did when
Yeah,
he went
but
off.
why? Because I haven't heard him say that he wants.
Yeah,
to
it wasn't
go.
him that said it. It was his
I was
brother
hoping
said
that he was going to score the winner in a 92nd minute, run out, chin his brother, and sign a new 5-year deal.
But this is what I was saying to Dan earlier, right? We know what agents are like. Agents will contact newspapers and say, print this story that my player's linked with this club, right? Because they're after a better deal. They're after a better deal for the player, but at the end of the day, they're after a better deal for themselves.
because
Right.
they take
Most agents in football are the scum.
There's
of
more.
football. Because
What
all
makes
they're
it worse?
I'm
interested
going to be honest.
What
With you.
makes
I'm
it
going to be
worse
honest.
is
With you.
his brother.
I know a lot of you don't want to. I don't want to accept it, but there's more to this than meets.
If there is, there is.
That today was a wave goodbye.
But the thing is, I'm not.
Yeah,
bothered.
but Bilic done the same thing, and Di Canio done it all them years ago. But you know what Arnie's like. Look, if it is his last game, then well,
so be it.
It goes out.
So
So
at the end of the
we
day,
won 1-0 against
all I worry about, I don't give a monkeys. If Arnie goes, he goes. What I'm worried about is what we replace him with.